What is going on, my fellow vegans? This is Luis Medrano. And guess what? This is another episode of the Fit Foodie podcast, guys, where we help you help our plant-based foodie friends lose weight, feel great, and elevate their lives. Guys, hope you're having a great day. It is Friday, August 30th. Happy Friday. So I just finished my third week of school. So I'm back in the classroom. School year started up. For those of you that are listening and haven't or don't know a little bit of my background, I am a school teacher. I teach fifth grade, and I'm starting my 13th year of teaching and 11th year in fifth grade. So that's my jam. That's my thing, teaching fifth grade, as well as being an online coach for vegans, a fitness coach. I've been a vegan since 2007. So coming up on 20 years pretty soon. Yeah, so I have a lot of experience, learned a lot, have made mistakes and learned from those mistakes. And, I'm here to share golden nuggets with you guys on how to lose weight, feel great, get fit. Because, guys, I struggled for years with actually today's topic is the skinny fat dilemma. And that was me for years as a vegan. Now, when I first went vegan back in 2007, just because I grew up on the standard American diet and being, overweight, I initially lost a ton of weight. I lost over 40 pounds just because I switched up from the standard American diet to a plant-based diet. And I all learned, I just kind of did it overnight. I literally went overnight, and I did a previous podcast episode on my vegan story, and I shared what made me go vegan and how I did it, and pretty much did it overnight, guys. And over the course of a few weeks and months, I ended up shedding over 40 pounds. And I mean, I could tell in the way that I looked and the way that I felt that an amazing thing and a great decision. And I've never looked back, been vegan ever since. But there was a point where I ended up pretty much in a cycle of just being a skinny fat vegan. So when I was wearing clothes, just to kind of give you a little background, someone who's skinny fat, they look lean. You look at them like, oh yeah, they're obviously not overweight. They look lean, but once they get into a swimsuit, it's obvious that they're not that fit. And for me, especially, you could tell in my midsection area, my gut, as some people call it, right? And my spare tire, muffin top, whatever you want to call it, that's where I accumulated most of my fat. And so I was carrying around 20 to 25% body fat, which is not lean by any standard at all. So when I was wearing clothes, I looked lean. I looked, you looked at me, you said, "Oh, that guy's not overweight," but I could clearly tell that, when I looked in the mirror, I was not a fit guy, but I was active. I was an active dude, and I played sports, I played soccer, and after going vegan, I just ended up picking up fitness because, it kind of went hand in hand, eating healthy and working out and just living that lifestyle. So today's topic is the skinny fat dilemma, how to deal with it, what you can do about being skinny fat so that you can actually look good in a bathing suit, look good in your clothes, in your new outfits, look good naked, look good when you see yourself in the mirror, and just like what you see in the mirror overall. Just generally appreciate and like what you see. So yeah, guys, one thing that kind of goes hand in hand with being skinny fat is yo-yo dieting. And one of my main focuses in coaching vegans online is to break free from yo-yo dieting, because again, that was me for years. For years, I would yo-yo diet as a vegan. So I'm not saying that I tried different diets, but when I'm referring to a diet is I would take my current vegan diet and, let me try eating this way or a little cleaner, or I'm going to do a 6-week challenge where I only eat this amount of food, or, I'm going to try this type of vegan diet, and just trying different things and just cycling back and forth between losing a little weight and then gaining it all back. Or sometimes it was go into the program or go into the whatever 6-week, 12-week, whatever I was doing, and then kind of fall off a few weeks into it and just like, oh well, then I just kind of went back to what I was doing. And it was this cycle for a while, for a long time. And the reason I would get myself into that cycle is because I could see my body in the mirror and I could clearly tell I didn't look that fit. So I went on these like, you know what? I need to lose body fat because I can't see my abs. I can't see my muscles. And I would go on, these diet challenges as a vegan, lose some weight, and then just kind of gain it all back. And it was just this back and forth. And I pretty much, it wasn't really extreme where I would like lose a lot of weight and gain it all back or gain more back. It wasn't extreme to that point, but I pretty much stayed stagnant and stayed stuck. I didn't see a lot of progress. Um, I looked in the mirror and I always carried that belly fat, and I just always thought, that's just me, and that's how I am. It's difficult for me, but the reality is I wasn't really, number one, being consistent. And then number two, I wasn't applying basic fundamental fitness principles, which now, a couple years into my I would say my more serious fitness journey, I understand, I learned, and I continue to learn how to apply basic fitness principles into a vegan diet so that I can shed fat, gain weight, gain muscle, maintain my weight, and pretty much like control what I want my body to look like, all while enjoying good vegan food. No restrictions, no crazy diets or nothing like that. So, and oftentimes the yo-yo, like I said, the yo-yo dieting and the skinny fat dilemma goes hand in hand. Someone sees they're skinny fat, they want to do something about it. Pretty much that option is let me go on a diet, let me restrict for a bit, let me cut calories, and then lose a little bit of weight. Okay, I like how I look, and then just kind of gain it all back. And it's just this being stuck. Now, one thing what I've discovered is here's the real situation, the real skinny fat dilemma. So what's really happening when someone is skinny fat is they look lean, but they're carrying around excess body fat. And because of that, when you look in the mirror, you just see flabby, soft body and not much muscle definition, not much muscle definition at all. So the real issue with skinny fat, now I'm not talking about overweight, obese people. That's not skinny fat. That's a whole nother scenario, right? Skinny fat is someone that when they're wearing clothes, they generally look pretty lean, or like they work out, they don't look overweight, but obviously there's not, they're not looking athletic, they're not looking lean, they're not looking fit. And so the real issue there is, yes, there's probably some body fat that needs to be shed, um, but also there needs to be some strength and muscle that needs to be built. Now, I'm not saying bodybuilding and putting on a bunch of muscle and getting super jacked and, competing that's not what I'm referring to. I'm just talking general muscle tone, muscle definition. Because let me tell you guys, when I started working with a fitness coach and it was one-on-one and I learned so much. This coach that I worked with was actually, or and currently is still a bodybuilder, vegan bodybuilder, and he competes. And so he knows the ins and outs on getting fit, building muscle, losing body fat, doing it efficiently, doing it effectively. And I told him when I started working with him that my goal was to be able to see my abs, which I've never been able to do ever in my life. I've never seen my abs. I want to see my abs. So that was my main goal. And sure enough, I learned the process and I was consistent and I did the program and worked with my coach and he helped me shed body fat. And sure enough, I was able to see ab definition. However, standing in front of the mirror, I also noticed after losing all that body fat, my frame looked a little too lean. There wasn't that much muscle definition on my frame. So I came to realize that it really wasn't just about losing body fat. Yes, when you're skinny fat, there's some body fat to be shed, no doubt. But more than anything is there needs to be some muscle put on, muscle definition. And that way, when the body fat is reduced, you're able to see toned muscles. And again, I'm not talking about just being super big and, super jacked, but just generally having muscle definition. And I realized, you know what? Because this is a journey, fitness is a journey. I'm not done after shedding all that body fat. I realize I see I want to put on some muscle. I want to gain some weight in the sense of muscle weight. And so that was my next step. And that's actually currently the step that I'm doing now. Right now, I'm actually doing a mini cut. So I'm working with my coach, my current coach, and I got 3 more weeks left of just a mini cut, dropping my calories a little bit so that I shed a little body fat that I picked up over the summer. But essentially, the next few months are going to be all about putting on muscle, gaining muscle, putting on weight, putting on muscle weight. Because that was my, after shedding all that body fat and getting rid of the skinny fat once and for all, right? I wanted to put muscle on. And so that's the key, guys, to solve the skinny fat dilemma is a combination of, most people think, and I used to think, that I just need to lose weight. I just need to lose weight to not look skinny fat anymore, to be able to see my abs, to have some tone, that look, that tone look. But that's just part of the equation. And oftentimes it's not even that much weight, that much body fat. Really, it's more about um, having muscle definition. And that, to do that, it comes down to strength training at least 3 times a week, hitting all the muscles in your body, your legs, your glutes, your shoulders, your arms. And that's just done with the basic structured gym routine or even home workout routine, where you're deliberately, putting stress on your muscle when you lift weights, when you lift your own weight or weight, and building it over time, overloading your muscles so that they get stronger, and they get, they build, they get bigger, you get more strength, more muscle definition. And so that's currently where I'm at now. I'm on that journey. Once I finish this cut, it's all about building and putting on muscle. And that's the key, guys, to get rid of the skinny fat dilemma. Two things. Number one, there is some body fat to be shed. And number two, strength training. Now, I shared a reel recently on my Instagram, on my social media, where I talked about 6 fundamental moves that you should be doing to start building muscle if you're skinny fat and you want to have a little more toned look when you look in the mirror, right? Now, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but number one, pull-ups. And of course, there's assisted versions of every one of these exercises. It's not just like you have to be able to hang on a bar and do a pull-up. There's exercise, there's beginner versions, regular advanced versions, but pull-ups, squats, deadlifts, overhead presses. Those are the 4. And then there's rows, 2 rows for your back. And I believe the 6th one, I think did I say deadlifts? Yeah, but I gotta go back to that reel and remember what those 6 moves were. But there were 6 basic moves that you need to do to start building muscle, and start small, right? You don't need to start lifting all this crazy weight. The idea is to just stay consistent 3 to 4 to 5 times a week, whatever fits your schedule, where you're deliberately strength training to put on a little bit of muscle definition so that you eliminate that skinny fat look. That way, when you shed the body fat, you're able to see tone and see muscle definition. It really comes down to those 2 things, guys. Solving the skinny fat dilemma is about shedding a little bit of fat, but also having muscle definition, guys. And shedding fat happens much quicker than muscle building. So if you're currently skinny fat, if you look in the mirror and you don't see a fit look, but yet when you're wearing clothes, you don't look overweight, that's skinny fat, right? So ideally, the first step would be to shed a little bit of body fat. You want to put, because obviously you're carrying around, maybe in your belly area, excess body fat, and you want to eliminate that or reduce it. So the first step would be to shed body fat, right? Now, there's a whole step to that. This podcast is not about how to shed body fat. I've done another episode on how to do that, and I shared on my Instagram, my Facebook, steps and tips and how to shed body fat as a vegan, and how to lose weight and get a little leaner. I share all those tips, but this episode's not for that. But essentially, you want to start with that because it happens much quicker than putting on muscle. So once you reach a certain fat level where you're comfortable with, ideally you're working with the coach, or you have some knowledge yourself on knowing exactly where you want to be before you move on to the next step, which is the next step would be start putting on some muscle. Now, these don't have to happen separately because you can shed body fat, and it's I highly recommend that anytime you're on a calorie deficit and you're trying to shed fat and lose weight, that you're doing strength training. That way your muscles stay strong and you're eliminating lean muscle loss during the fat loss phase. You're maximizing fat loss and minimizing muscle loss by strength training. So you can actually tone up your muscles and work your muscles out while you're losing the body fat. But then once you shed your body fat down, then the next step would be to deliberately go on at least a 3-month bulking phase or a building phase. Now, It could be gradual, right? But essentially you want to, again, this is a whole other episode, but essentially you're going to be eating a little more food than what you need to maintain your weight, and because you want those extra calories to put on muscle weight, and that'll allow you to have more muscle definition. Now you can get to whatever point you decide you're comfortable with. If you're not a bodybuilder, if you're not a, competitive athlete or anything like that, then obviously you're not looking to get super muscular. But females and males alike, you could, and especially being skinny fat, you could use a little more muscle definition. And the way you do that is strength training. Do it during a fat loss. So your first step is to shed the fat so that you're able to, get that skinny fat look eliminated. And then secondly is start putting on some muscle, start strength training. And this is something honestly that I recommend you should be doing anytime, anyways, no matter what. Strength training, keep your muscles, your joints, your bones, your ligaments strong. And depending on your goals, you might want to grow some muscles, have a little more defined ab and core muscles, whatever your goal may be. But guys, this also, the bonus effect of doing this, of shedding a little body fat and putting on some muscle and getting toned up, is you break free from yo-yo dieting. Because I know for me, it was a big cause of the yo-yo dieting was because I always had that skinny fat look that I wasn't happy with. I was like, I need to do something about it. And I would go and then just kind of stay stagnant and then fall off and then go back to old habits and then try again. And it was just this back and forth thing. And one major benefit of eliminating the skinny fat dilemma is you break free from yo-yo dieting. You learn how to make this way of eating a lifestyle so that you can decide at any point during the year, wherever you're at, whether you want to maintain your current body because you like the way you look, whether you want to shed a little body fat because summer's coming around or you're going on vacation or something, or whether you want to spend a few weeks or months putting on muscle. And it becomes a lifestyle. It becomes a way of living that you no longer have to say it's time to diet, or this diet didn't work, or I'm going to try this version or try that way. And you're no longer stuck and yo-yoing back and forth and just really getting nowhere with the way your body looks. So that's a bonus benefit. And it's something that's definitely to be enjoyed as part of the process too, guys. So anyways, guys, so let's kind of just recap really quick the skinny fat dilemma and how to get rid of it. What is skinny fat? Skinny fat is when you look lean, when you're wearing clothes, you don't look overweight, but yet when you look in the mirror or you're in the bathing suit, you don't look fit. There's a little bit of extra belly fat. You're often carrying around 20% or higher body fat percentage. And the way to get rid of that skinny fat look and solve your skinny fat dilemma is, number one, you could use a little shedding of body fat. And then number two, you want to strength train consistently because you want to have that, you're lacking that toned muscular look. And that's why the skinny fat look is very apparent. Those two things. And the bonus benefit, you break free from yo-yo dieting. No more going up and down with your weight. No more trying this diet or that diet and falling off this one and trying this one and going back and forth, and get rid of that once and for all. And you make this way of eating and this way of living as a vegan, as a vibrant vegan, a lifestyle that you can enjoy and basically enjoy for your whole life. And that's a beautiful thing, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Much love. Thank you guys for tuning in.